Hey guys, Antonio here with some more Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Today we're going to be talking about chapter 26, the prospect theory. And here this is a chapter that compares the prospect theory to this other theory called utility theory. And to give you what the utility theory is it's basically the utility of a gain or a loss is assessed by comparing the utilities of two states of wealth. So utility meaning like how much more happier you are, how much psychological value you get from the gain or loss of the situation. So the example here is we have $1,000 originally, right? And we're getting a gain of $50. So the only way we get the utility is by doing the math of of $1,050 plus divided by $1,000, and that will give us, I believe, if I can do my math right, that's only a 5% increase, right? So is that something that we really want? This technically is equal to 1.05, and that just means that there's a 5% increase. For those of you math nerds out there. That's 5% increase is a great amount. I'll take a 5% increase on whatever I have. That's great. They'd be given for free? Yeah, definitely. But now when we do the same thing for a loss, if we were to lose $5, or $50, if we were to lose $5, then that would only be 1/10 of this, which in reality is not that much. 1/10 of 50% is only 0.5%. And now, does that really affect you? Not really. So the gain and the loss doesn't really matter. So the gain matters here, but the loss doesn't really matter. So that's what the utility theory states. Now, for the prospect theory, it takes into other couple things into consideration. Takes the fact that people prefer to gamble when all options are bad. So if you've ever been to, a famous gambling place, Atlantic City, Las Vegas, and you've already lost $100 and you only have $5 left, chances are you're going to bet the $5 versus just say, I'm going to keep the $5. No, instead you're like, I already lost this much, I might as well keep going for the slight chance that I might win. But we all know that chance is very, very small. So another thing is that they take into consideration is that people are actually loss averse. I mentioned this in the last video a little bit, but people are more likely to want to prevent losses rather than fight for a gain. So this is a good thing to take into consideration when you're always trying to improve yourself, trying to get a new goal in life. You want to set up a bet with someone that prevents a loss from you. So one thing I did before, and if my friend's watching this video, she's going to laugh, but I wrote a check, $500 for my friend, that I would accomplish this goal and within a certain time period, and if I didn't, she could cash a check on that day and I would lose $500. Now, she's a good friend, didn't cash a check, but I didn't reach the goal, but I worked so much harder to get to that goal. Just simply because I was trying to prevent a loss rather than fighting for that gain, which was the goal. So now you're setting up both of these factors when you go for a goal. So you're getting a gain by, striving for a goal, and then preventing a loss by building that in. So now you're ultimately so much more motivated to get the things done that you are. So here's a good picture that they use in the book. I tried drawing it. I am in no way, shape, or form an artist, guys, but this is what they use to describe the prospect theory. So it's not the same as utility theory in the sense of how everything's calculated. So the y-axis here is known for positive or negative psychological value, and then the x-axis is for the dollar amount. So let's go through the positive side real quick. So if you make $100 more in gain, it's going to give you about 1.5 psychological value points. Okay, not really dependent on what your current state is of wealth. If you get $200, it's going to give you 2.5 points. So you see, it starts slowing down as we go on. Now the graph starts reaching like an asymptote at some point where it doesn't continue to grow anymore. And that just shows that after a certain while, the gain that you get, the psychological gain you get, doesn't really keep happening. But let's go to the negative side here. Now, after losing $100, we're going to lose 3 psychological value points, and that is that's twice the size of what the gain is on the other side. And if you lose 200, you're going to lose like 4 and quarter, 4.5, which is still way more than you had before for gaining $200. And the difference here is that the negative doesn't slope off as much as the positive side does. So the negatives continue to really hurt you, but the positives continue to not really give you much more. So that's the difference between the two. And there's one thing that both have in common is they don't really consider regret in decisions, and how that affects your psychological value or utility of an actual decision. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson on prospect and utility theory. Going to leave a link in the description down below for you to purchase a copy of this book on Amazon. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave me a thumbs up, guys. As always, subscribe and have a wonderful day.